huge and just made things so easy to understand and so tailored and so personalized in a way that, of course, me trying to do programs by myself, they're not tailored, they're not personalized, they're just sort of things on the internet or things, like the Whole30, a lot of people have done, but I didn't have a coach or anyone to help me through it. So those were really awesome. The office hours on the Facebook group were so helpful. I've taken away so many tips on, I mean, that's the thing that I love the most, is that it's not like change your whole life. Like you have to be this totally different person, right? It's totally sustainable, incremental, implementable changes that don't feel scary. And once you hear about them or once you think about them, you're like, oh, that makes a lot of sense in terms of eating and exercise and cycles and routine. So I really liked that. And I really like all the materials in the burnout protocol online, and that I have access to it forever now, so I can come back and sort of revisit it. But I think 3 months was the perfect time to. At the beginning, I was a little bit nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, there's like, it seemed like so much. But now, 3 months along, it just became like second nature now, just these like little daily habits that make a big difference.
Yeah, totally. And you had some really interesting, what I call them wins through the course of the program. So some things off the top of my head, like your digestion got insanely better. You were no longer napping in the middle of your day, which is a huge time saver. And then my favorite one was how this program actually changed your thyroid hormone level. So you had been getting your thyroid hormone tested. Do you mind
Mhm.
sharing on what happened there?
Yeah. So I'll start probably with the first two. So digestion was crazy. And I still notice it now because I still like, will have some wheat or have some dairy or like have excess sugar. And my digestion changes instantly. It's like my stomach is not happy. And when I'm following the protocol, it's like night and day. So that's been a really big difference. And something that I think I just accepted was like, oh, I just have like digestive issues. And now I'm like, oh no, that's like not
Yeah.
normal for me. Um, and then, yeah, the napping, totally. I mean, not having to crash in the middle of the day and feeling like I can just carry through is so huge. I would say that the program has like taught me a lot about in terms of like kindness to myself as well, in terms of like recognizing those daily rhythms, recognizing those monthly rhythms, and recognizing that I'm not going to be running around like every second of every day, like recognizing those rhythms and kind of accepting of them in terms of how the hormones work in our body, daily, weekly, monthly has been really helpful. And then my thyroid one was one I wasn't expecting. I was getting tons of blood tests, like I said, with my doctor, because just trying to figure out what it was. My thyroid was in the normal range. But I had high antibodies. So I was like, there's something going on here. Anyway, after honestly like 2 or 3 weeks of the protocol, I went and got more blood testing done. And I was sort of like, oh, maybe it's a bit too early to notice anything. But it's crazy. I had, 3 years of data for my thyroid, and it was all sort of staying in the higher end of normal. But it was all sort of staying the same. And then like 2 or 3 weeks after starting the protocol, the numbers dropped into what's considered like the optimum range for your thyroid,
Oh,
which was so wild.
yes.
And so awesome to see like in black and white, 3 or 4 years of my thyroid sort of staying the same. And then just these like easy easy to implement changes. And now my thyroid's in the optimum position and I'm feeling better.
I love it. I love it. And it
Yeah.
says so much about you as a person. Like I remember our first chat, you were like, I've been on this relentless pursuit for more energy. And like you said, you are very high functioning, high achieving, active.
Mhm.
This girl, Kirsten, was doing all the things like to get blood testing done very regularly. That's another really big commitment. So,
Yeah.
props to you. You did